Hey guys, thank you for joining me today. I will be honest, I kind of felt like I shouldn't do this video today because I am under the weather. So I sound like super congested. You'll probably hear me cough, but I felt like, no, they can get the real me because I had a message that was dropped in my spirit, and y'all know how I am when things are given to me. I feel like it is my job to share, not just to reflect on it, but to share with other people who I feel like can be blessed by it. So today, because I have been really sick, kind of been like laying on the couch and resting, and my girls have been doing such a good job of checking in on me and making sure I'm feeling okay. But today, my youngest daughter, she's 6, she asked me to play Chutes and Ladders with her, which is like a childhood classic. If you do not have Chutes and Ladders in your house for your kids, definitely get it. Love it. So anyways, if you are not familiar with Chutes and Ladders, I'm going to just give like a brief overview. So Chutes and Ladders is a board game that has 100 different squares, 4 different characters. It was just me and my daughter playing though. And you you roll or spin a wheel that tells you how many different spots you can move. And so you're supposed to go from 1 to 100. Now there's like some shortcuts. So if you hit a ladder, let's say you're on spot 5 and you land on a ladder, there's a ladder on that spot, then you can slide up the ladder to whatever spot it lands to. So it might take you to spot 36 or whatever, right? On the opposite, if you are on spot 70 and you move to 78, you spin a 1 and you move to 78 and it's a slide, you'll slide your way back down. So you could think you're winning, you could think you're losing, the game shifts a lot, and you never just move from 1 to 100. It's always like you'll land on a ladder or you'll land on a chute or a slide and it'll send you down, or a ladder will send you up. So it's super cool. So anyways, my daughter and I were playing, and my daughter was beating me, man, like killing me. I'm like, man, we haven't played this game in a few weeks. Like, how in the world is she doing so well with this game? So, I was like, whatever, I'm just keep playing. And she's laughing and bragging. You guys know how 6-year-olds are. And so then I eventually hit a ladder. So I got in front of her. And I was feeling good about myself. Because I'm like, she was just kind of trying to dog me, laughing and stuff. Anyways, eventually, obviously, I got all the way to the freaking top. I think I was at spot like 93, 94. So I'm like 6 spots away from 6 or 7 spots away from winning. So I'm like excited. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm about to win. So get all the way close to the end. And of course, inevitably, I hit a slide. So I slide down and I'm losing. So it really made me stop and think about life just for a moment. Like, Chutes and Ladders is kind of like life a little bit. Not the game life, but our real day-to-day life. We could be going through life and feel like we are on top of the world. We can be feeling like we're winning, like we're killing it. We're doing such a good job at work, and we're having a great, romantic relationship, and we're such a good parent or good at our business or whatever. And then you can hit a slide that slides you back, and now all of a sudden you're losing. And then when you're in a losing spot, you internalize that. So you're like, wow, I'm losing. Like, I'm never going to win. And it could just be one right spin that gives you that ladder. And now where you were behind, now you're ahead. And it just made me really think about how many times that applies to our life. I know for me personally, as I was going through my divorce process, I felt like I was losing. There was a point in my life where everything was in order, right? I felt like I had parenting down packed. I decided that I was going to start writing books. I had started my doctoral program. I was doing really, really great in my career. Like, I just was feeling good. I felt like a good wife. I just felt like everything was, falling together, finally, fitting in place. And then my divorce hit, and it felt like everything fell apart overnight. It just felt like it all just crumbled right before my eyes. Like, how could everything have been so good? And then I just took that one wrong spin, and that slide just took me all the way backwards. And I went through that process of like comparing myself and looking at people that were married and looking at people that seemed happy and looking at, all these things. And all that time, I'm like, I'm losing everything. Excuse me. I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm losing everything. My finances were out of order. My schedule with my daughters changed. I changed my job around the same time. I lost my husband. Like, there were just all of these things that were happening. And I'm like, I'm losing everything. And I couldn't help but to just compare myself to everybody else because I felt like I was losing. But what I came to see during that time is losing is a mentality that you accept. Therefore, you have a choice whether you want to be losing or whether you want to be winning. And because I had accepted the choice of losing and internalized this idea that I was losing, I allowed myself to believe that, in fact, I was losing. But then there was a day that happened where I just couldn't do it anymore. I could not live broken. I could not live depressed. I could not live anxious. I could not live bitter. I could not live in rage. I could not live in unforgiveness. I could not live like that anymore. And so when I made the decision, the non-negotiable decision to say, all right, I am no longer a loser. This situation happened to me. I lost some things, but now I have an opportunity to restore it. I have an opportunity to make a new chapter. I have an opportunity to start again. And once I was able to really make that shift, that's when it happened. Now, I am going to tell you that shift wasn't an overnight shift, right? It wasn't something where I was like, yep, I forgive him. Yep, I'm not mad no more. Yep, I'm not angry no more. Yep, I'm not depressed no more. Yep, when I see him, I don't get anxious. That didn't happen overnight. That was a slow process. But what did happen was my decision to not fall back into the habit, was my decision to say, you know what, even if I get anxious, that's not an excuse. I still have to press forward. Even if I feel a little depressed, I still have to press forward. Even if I feel like not forgiving him, I still got to figure out how to co-parent, right? So all of these things, I had to really shift that mindset. And the biggest thing that helped me during that time was support. When I decided that I needed support, and trust me, this was hard for my pride. As a counselor by trade, I was a counselor for several years, a clinical counselor as well as a school counselor. I've worked with people with many different situations. And then I went to get my life coaching certification. And once I got that, here I am. I'm like, I'm a life coach. I'm a counselor. How could I need help? So it was definitely a mindset thing for me where I had to make that adjustment. But here's the thing. Like, once I set my pride to the side and said, help is okay. Getting help is wonderful. Every good counselor needs a counselor. Every good coach needs a coach. In fact, Oprah is like amazing. And she has a life coach and multiple coaches, right? We all need help at different areas in our life. And guess what? That's still okay. It is still okay. And so when I was able to reach out and get the support that I needed, that really changed my life. I was able to get the accountability. So somebody saying like, Nicolia, remember what you're working towards, to get that motivation, being like, Nicolia, girl, you got this, right? The encouragement to be like, Dr. Nicolia, do not fall off. You're so close. Dr. Nicolia, look at this work you've done. Dr. Nicolia, you're not a failure. You're a success. You're strong. To be able to get all of that really changed my life. And so I want to challenge you. Let's say that you are in that same spot. You're dealing with that depression. You're dealing with that anxiety. You're dealing with that bitterness or that rage. There's no judgment on my part. I know all of those emotions very well because I carried those and I lived with those. And I internalized them and believed that that was the best way to respond to my situation. Because after all, like, how could I have gotten this situation? He deserved for me to be angry at him. He deserved for me to hold unforgiveness, right? But the truth is, who did that ultimately hurt? That hurt me. And once I was able to accept that I needed to let it go for me, and that I needed to move forward for me, and that I deserved it to have a new beginning because I deserved it and I desired it, my life changed tremendously. So if you're there, I have wonderful news for you. Below, I am going to put an awesome training that I am giving away for free, no cost to you at all. And it's called 7 Steps to Survive Your Split. And it literally is simple, strategic steps that you can take that will take you from stressed, overwhelmed, to like really thriving, to really living, to finding yourself, to starting again and finding that happiness that you deserve and that you desire. So I'm going to put that in the comments below. Check that out. If you know someone that can be blessed by it, share this video. I am going to let you guys go, but I want you to remember that you are only one spin or one choice, so to speak, away from a totally different life. Make that decision today. Sign up below. See you guys later. Bye.